so I'm just out here messing around today. I got some things that I want to do and then some things that I need to do. And what I want to do is I want to try to run this shell mill horizontally on the K&T just because I want to. But in order to do that, I have to do several things. One, I have to sharpen it, which is, you know, fairly basic, but still needs to be done. This thing's been beat around in a box probably longer than I've been alive. And it's been sharpened one time before, so I'm going to touch it up. But in order to run it, I have to be able to drive it. And as you can hopefully see, that has a pretty small key. That's an 1/8 inch key that runs down the center of that cutter. Well, all my arbors, this is a 1 inch arbor, and it happens to have a 1/4 inch key down the that, you know, drives your cutters. So I'm gonna have to, you know, make a custom key in order to run this cutter. I've got some lathe work that I got to do for a viewer customer, and a couple other things, of course. So let's get started. Nothing's ever as simple, you know, as you want, or as you first think it's going to be. You know, oh, I want to run that cutter. Well, you can't. You gotta make a key first. And I'm going to hack off a piece of this key, and then we will use the shaper to, you know, get it to the shape we want, and then we'll sharpen that guy up and run it on the stock. This piece of material that I cut, I'll show you that too. Sometimes a hacksaw is faster than about anything. It was about just lining up the marks. So within a half thou, just that was luck. think that's good enough. It's a really pretty spot down here by the Kentucky River. We've got a large, what used to be bridge. This is the foundation that I'm standing on. Hopefully, see that? And behind us, a large tunnel through this large hillside. I'm assuming this is an old roadway, and there was probably a bridge that went out here across, and then we have a new replacement bridge here. So just thought I'd stop and show this. It's a really neat spot. I've passed it several times, but never stopped and actually looked. Pretty neat. Alright, so I got an 1/8 inch key here, and on further inspection, you know, that's not an 1/8 inch key in this. It happens to be 156, 157, what is that, 530 seconds, or 4mm. So I guess, you know, it's always good to double check, because just looking at that, I would have said that was an 1/8 of an inch. I'm glad I actually measured it and tried to fit that key. So, you know, I'm going to make the key a fairly loose fit, but, you know, 1/8 of an inch, in my opinion, is a little too loose. here I'm just restacking what little bit of wood we got left for this winter. I sure hope spring comes early, and like always, you know, Chloe, she just wants to play. If you think you got enough wood for the winter, just enough, it's probably best if you double that amount, and then you'll probably have what it takes to make it through. At least that's my experience. But we may make it. We'll see. A little looser than I wanted, but at least it fits. There we go. Now let's take this over to the Cuttergrinder and grind it on my new mandrel. Okay, so here's the setup. I've got my new center that a lot of you guys probably watched me make, the carbide inserted center. I still only have one real tailstock for this, so I have to use my powered workhead. That doesn't make any difference. It's got a center in it too, but it's just bulky. But the cutter on the mandrel, or the arbor, and I'm set up here for 3 degrees. That's what I want to put in at 3 degrees, the relief behind the cutting edge. So let me get this fired up and I'll bring you in and we'll grind this thing. Okay, so this, we can, you know, the mandrel spins plus the cutter spins. It doesn't really matter as long as it's held in line. And for my new viewers, you know, this is a helical cutting edge, and you can see I have a little metal finger here that's up against the wheel. I'm not going to go into the complete setup, but what this finger does is it traces along that tooth and allows me to grind an edge, a good edge that matches the helix. Let me show you. Okay, so as I traverse this across, see I'm applying, you know, force against this cutter to keep it rotating on that finger. So that gives me the helical grind that I need. So I'm going to finish bluing these teeth up, and I don't know if you can tell, probably not from there, but they're pretty battered up around the edge. That's why I want to grind this thing. I've never run one of these, so I think it'll be interesting. I'm just going to come into a touch. Work my way around. So you can see we're just touching. You know, sometimes in other places more than the rest. So we're just going to keep going around this thing till we clean it all the way up, and we have a nice sharp edge. Okay, I think that's it. It looks pretty good. I didn't get every little spot out, but I think I did pretty good on it. So, we'll have to try it and see. Looks good anyway. Get you a good close shot of that. Man, that turned out really nice. And I don't know why I keep calling this a shell mill. This is a slab mill. I'll show you a shell mill. So that's a shell mill. Anyway, you know, it's easy to get this stuff confused. There we go. So, man, that's nice. I didn't get every single spot out of it, but I'm not going to grind the whole cutter away because it's got a couple little specks, you know, here and there. That's plenty good enough. Let's go try it on this piece of mild steel on the K&T. I think that'd be fun. Alright, so I think I got everything together that will work. I'm hoping that this support will clear the top of my vise. This will be the first time I've run this since I got it. And, you know, I'm interested to see how it works. First time, well, this is the first time that this inch arbor will have ever been run. I actually pulled it out of the plastic. It was brand new. It's a Bakir Italian-made inch arbor. My buddy Jim Lichty actually got it for me, and he found it at a machine auction. You know, if you watch those auctions, man, sometimes nobody else bids on stuff and you can get it for little or nothing. And he's pretty good at that, and he watches those things. So thank you, Jim. I really appreciate that. Now, I'm pretty excited to run this thing. The only time I've seen them run is maybe a couple times. A few of the guys have run them. Most of my experience seeing these slab mills run is like old footage, archive footage, machining footage. So I'm actually more excited to see this run than that face mill. Pretty much everybody's seen those go, but this should be neat.
Look at Princess. Princess. Look at Ron. Look at this. Ron, look at Itsy.
Snowing this morning, well, sleeting. We probably got a 1/4 inch of sleet. The roads were covered. It melted off fairly quick and turned to rain. Crazy how the temperature swings around here. So let's start this thing. Table in a bit. Should work, I think. Oil. Put some oil in that also. Good. Yeah, looks good. That's 61 RPM. We'll start off slow, of course. Alright, so that's 74 RPM, and we're going to feed at 1.5 a minute. That's pretty neat. I'm going to let it make this pass, see what kind of finish we get, and then go from there. It's like a shear tool almost. Doesn't look great, but man, that feels real good. Wow. It's pretty good, really. It's better than the camera. Better than the camera probably shows. Right, hopefully, you can see that. Not bad. I mean, it feels like a piece of glass, but it doesn't look like it. It's actually pretty good. Where I tried to make a heavy cut and stopped, but the rest of it, is actually, the light's not great. Pretty decent. Alright, so I've touched off. I dialed in 40 thousandths depth of cut. We're going to go an inch a minute. I'm more worried about finish than I am about hogging on this material anyway. Let's see what we got. Pretty good to me. Yeah, let me bring you and show you that. Looks real good. It's not perfect. That run out, it's got a little bit of run out in the cutter, but and that's as good as you could ask for, really. A little line there. I don't know what the deal there is. Whatever. Looks good. We'll get a better look at the bench. All right, so here's the finishes that we got. Nothing to really write home about, but not too bad. I think we were rubbing a lot with that minimal relief I had ground in that cutter, and not great, but not horrible on the cast iron. It's actually really good, but not as good as I think it could be. So I still got some work to do. It's the first time I'd ever run one of those cutters. Now, this is not the first time I've ran a shear tool. This is a piece of 6061 aluminum. Here is the tool. I showed this on my Instagram page on the shaper. So there's the tool. I'll show you more of this next week. But I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that, I don't think. I mean, it's not, that's not polished, not anything. That's straight off the shaper. That is with Tap Magic as a lubricant, and a 2/1000th depth of cut, 64 strokes a minute on a 7-inch stroke, I believe. And there's another quick look at the tool. But like I said, I'll show more of this next week, but hopefully. But there you go. Look at that. Well, guys, I say it every week, but I'm out of time completely, and I'm not going to be able to get to the lathe work this week. I've had a lot of family issues, not issues, but events that I've had to deal with, and that's taken a lot of my shop time. Plus the weather has been horrible. It's rained constantly. But I want to share with you before we part my newest addition to the shop, and I'm extremely excited to get it. My buddy Jim Lichty found this Style A arbor support. I know it looks like the other two that I have, but it is definitely different. You can see it's got a much smaller running bushing, or takes a much smaller running bushing than the other two. These are Style B, and this is a Style A. And the main benefit to this thing is that it takes, the running bushing is actually part of the arbor itself. These three arbors are the only Style A arbors that I have, but they're, plenty. They run up in the end of this runs up in the end of the support and doesn't take a large, bushing like this or all the extra real estate, under the arbor in order to support the end. So I was really happy to get this. My buddy Jim Lichty actually found it. He's the same gentleman who found this one for me. He contacted me, said, I know you don't have it, and if you want one, I found it. I'll go in half on you, or with you, and I was more than happy to do that. That's a great deal. So thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. And the guy helps me out all the time, and I don't even know why, but he does. So definitely appreciate it. He's a good friend of mine. These 3 arbors were also viewer gifts. They were sent to me by Andrew Pressridge. Now I did not have any arbors to mate with the Style A support, but these do. You can see they've got a reduced shank on the end that actually runs in that. So I was really happy to get those. Andrew is a guy that I follow on Instagram. He does gear hobbing and stuff. So if you're interested in that, check him out. He's a super nice guy. He sent me those and 3 50 taper tool holders. So thank you, Andrew. I definitely appreciate it. Now, this looks a little rough, but it seems to be in pretty good shape as far as I can tell. No cracks or anything like that. It's been painted with a brush and house paint is what it looks like. Needs a new lens in it, and probably a new wick. But it seems to have a brand new running bushing in it. I pulled it out and looked at it. It looks like maybe it's been run one time, but it does not fit the ends of my arbors here. So I'm going to have to bore that out, I believe. So a lot of work to do before I can get this thing to where I can, take advantage of it. I haven't ran that mill a whole lot, but the times that I have run it, several of those I've run into clearance issues with the vise or running short work or small cutters. You can imagine the vise gets in the way of these big supports out on the end and makes it to where you can't run. So in that case, you would use the Style A, which I am extremely glad to get. And I want to thank my viewers for all the support that I've got. Now, I don't want to spend my time doing cheap tool reviews and stuff. I don't want to spend my short time that I have with you. It's always limited, the time that I have, and I don't want to get into the tool review thing. So luckily I haven't felt the need to do it. My viewers tend to take care of me pretty well. So I want to thank you guys for all the support. If nothing else, just watching the videos helps. So thank you guys. Nothing wrong with the reviews. A lot of people like them. Some people hate them. It just depends on who you are, I guess. I personally, don't really care either way, but I don't want to do them myself. There's just not a lot of that cheap stuff that I'm really interested in, to be honest. And I don't want to spend my time sorting through it that I have with you guys. Or I don't want to spend my time that I have with you guys sorting through it to find the trash from the treasure. A lot of guys that I watch do those reviews. I completely trust them, but I don't want my channel to go that way personally. So luckily, my viewers take care of me pretty well. So I just want to say, thanks. Now, really, I think that's about it this week. I'm exhausted and out of time, and I just want to say, thanks to all my viewers, thanks to my patrons, thanks to my subscribers, new and old. I really appreciate it. If you need anything, you can contact me through my email, and you can check me out on Instagram if you're interested. It's at SteveSummers80. I do a lot of stuff over there. I try to post a couple times a week, sometimes every day. It just depends. I post to Instagram and Facebook. So I don't spend much time on Facebook, though. I'm not a Facebook fan, but Instagram seems okay. So I spend quite a bit of time there with my friends. So if you'd like to hit me up on there, it's easy. Instagram is pretty good. And hopefully, man, I keep going. Hopefully in the next couple weeks, I'll be going to visit Lyle Peterson. Hopefully, you guys know him by his real name. That is Mr. Pete 222, your YouTube shop teacher. I'm going to be paying him a visit, so I'll probably take you guys along. So thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.